back to stand, and then just take some shoulder swims. We're going to swim the arms all the way back like you were doing a backstroke to get some range of motion in your mid-back and your upper back. As you're reaching back, you can reach forward at the same time, so you're reaching in opposite directions. Think of the longest extension that you can through your arms. And then we'll reverse the flow going forward, so you're doing like a front crawl. Getting as much range of motion through your shoulders as you can. Good. And a little rotation in your upper back, so we're opening up the thoracic spine as well. Good. Right, and then we'll move to a side step with a front arm cross. So you're going to step across and cross the arms in front of your chest every time you draw back. So you're crossing over, letting your arms swing, letting your chest open, so you get some openness in back of your shoulders and in the front. And so you can crisscross on opposite, crossing the other arm in front each time that you're crossing. So you're getting even openness through each side. Good, just 2 more here. And then we'll switch to a side lunge with an overhead reach. So we're going to take a side lunge with that overhead, a little bit of a lunge with a side reach overhead. Getting a little Jane Fonda going here. I mean, she looks great at 80. How old is she? 86, 87? So might as well do what she did. Reach all the way out, get some nice side bend extension in the side waist. Good, last 4 here. We stretch out any of those kinks that you have in your side waist, mid back, underneath your shoulders. Good, and then you can relax, shake it out, and then grab one of your weights. So probably the heavier weights, if you're using like 5 pound or 8 pound. We're gonna take a single leg or a split stance, left foot forward, right leg back, weight in your right hand. You take the left hand to your left knee, and we'll do a set of pullbacks. So you're gonna row all the way back. Let that shoulder come off of your back, and then pull all the way back. So the breath is an inhale on the way down, exhale as you pull back. Exactly, inhale down, exhale, pull back. And you're drawing that core back as you're working here. So you're stabilizing through your spine, pulling the shoulder blade back, working through that whole range of motion through your right shoulder. So the shoulder blade can come off of your back a little bit as you're coming down. And then open in that rotation as you come up. Good, last 3 here. Just keep breathing. Good, press your front leg to come up to stand, and we'll switch sides. So right leg forward, left leg back. Switch hands with the weight. Right hand on your right knee. Come forward, brace that core. Inhale down, exhale, pull back. So there is a little bit of rotation in your upper back as you're pulling. It's really good for keeping that thoracic spine open, which is really important for maintaining that core connection and the ability to breathe deeply. Good. Inhale down, exhale, pull back. Think of drawing that shoulder blade on your back as you're pulling back. Good. Nice. Last 3 here. 2. Good. 1 more. Pull it back. Good. Press through your front leg. Come all the way back up to stand. Roll the shoulders out like you're squeezing sponges. And then grab both of your weights. So I'd say use the lighter weight if you have 2. I'm going to go to the other side, split stance. So right leg forward, left leg back. Weights can come down by your side. Engage your core. And we'll exhale, press both arms up overhead. Inhale all the way down. And exhale, press up overhead. So we're using both arms at the same time. I want you to think about pushing your feet down to press up. And you're also pressing up from the middle of your core. Pressing from the pinky side of your hand. So you're feeling some stability in your trunk, in your deep core. And pinkies are pressing up as you press overhead. Good. Last 3 here, because we still have to do the other side with the other leg forward. Good. 1 more here. Exhale up. Good. Switch legs. So left leg forward, right leg back. Brace in your core. Hips are engaged. And we'll press overhead. Exhales, press. So your shoulders are staying pretty stable, but the shoulder blades are moving up and down on your back. As you drop your arms down, think of anchoring your shoulders down your back. So the stability is coming from your mid-back. And as you press through your pinkies. Keep the core engaged. Already getting a little bit of heat here, right? Good, last 4 here. Good, exhale as you press. 3. Good, last one. 4. Good, come up to stand. Roll those shoulders out. Squeeze them like sponges. And we'll take reverse flies. We're gonna come to a forward bend, a little hip hinge, engage that deep core. Arms come forward facing each other. Palms are facing one another, right? Shoulder blades down your back, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together as you lift, and then drop them all the way back down. Palms are facing each other. Staying nice and connected in your core. Exhale as you lift. Imagine you had a tennis ball between your shoulder blades that you were lifting. It's also very helpful to think about bringing your chin back, like making a double chin. So the back of your neck is nice and long, right? We don't want to crane into the back, and it will concentrate the movement between your shoulder blades a bit more. Squeeze that tennis ball between your shoulder blades. Nice, so you got 3 more here. Last 2. And 1 more. Good. Nice, come all the way back up. Roll those shoulders out. Good, same weights. We're gonna take the arms forward. So these are your lighter weights. Bend your knees, and a little mini squat. We're gonna press one arm forward, one arm back. Kind of like you were running with your palms up, right? Pressing forward, getting a little rotation in your upper back. So as you're pressing those arms, you're feeling your shoulder blades moving against your ribs in the back and extending through your pinkies as you're moving forward. Okay, so there's some core stabilization that's happening here, but also some really deep engagement in the biceps and the stabilizers of the shoulders. Good, stick with it, find your rhythm. You wanna make sure that you can still breathe and talk, right? If it gets to be too much, you can either drop the weight or take the tempo a little bit less, go a little slower. Right, good, take 5 more presses here. Go out as far as is comfortable for you, for your range of motion. These get hard after a while. Last one. Good, and you can rest. Roll the shoulders out, squeeze your shoulders like sponges. Get out any tension that's hanging out in there. Good. All right, 1 more hip hinge here. Take the arms back into an A position. So your shoulder blades, you're like squeezing your armpits back. Palms are facing back. Palms are facing down, right? And then bring those weights in front of you, palms facing each other. And then bring them right back by your hips. Squeeze those armpits together as you lift. Inhale down, exhale, press back. So we're doing A lifts. So from behind, it looks like this. Exhale, lift. You're really squeezing between the shoulder blades like you had a tennis ball right between your upper back you were trying to squeeze. If at any point this gets to be too hard and you want to drop the weight and just do the arms, you can totally do that too. Go for quality over quantity and making sure you're working within your own limits. Good. A little pause right there at the top as you squeeze those shoulder blades together and the armpits together. Good, last 2. 1 more. Good, drop all the way down, roll the shoulders out. Good, and then we'll take some front raises. So same weights, palms facing your hips. We're gonna take the weights forward, out to the side, and then all the way down. So you're making like a big triangle, forward, out to the side, and all the way down. Think of reaching the weights away from you as you're lifting and stabilizing in your core as you are working your arms. Good. So core work really plays into all of this, doesn't it? As you're using your arms and your legs, you really have to make sure that you're staying connected into your deep core. Good. Go at your own pace. Bend your elbows a little bit so you can make the movement happen from your shoulder blades. Good. 1 more here. We're gonna reverse it. Drop the arms down, roll the shoulders out, take a break. Good. Shake it out, any tension. We'll go in the opposite direction. So take the arms out, forward, and then back down. Out, forward, and back down. Good. So the majority of this movement is happening from the tops of your shoulders. It's being supported by your mid-back. So we shouldn't feel this so much high in the neck. It's more just in the deep shoulders, deep mid-back, and the external muscles of your shoulders, the tops of your shoulders. Good. Let's take 3 more here. Out, forward, back down. 2. Good. Last one. Great. Good. Roll the shoulders out. Drop those weights for a second. Just roll your wrists out. Shake your arms back. Oh, let it go. Let go of any tension. Sometimes these wiggles can be really good to like let go of any tension you're holding on to. If you have heavier weights, grab those heavier weights. If not, just grab the ones that you had before. And then we'll come to a forward bend. We're going to take some tricep kickbacks. So pin the elbows back. Squeeze your armpits. That's the most important part. And this is actually a shoulder stabilizing exercise too. And then press those weights all the way back. Bring them back forward and press them back. So the key here is to stabilize your shoulders on your back and not let your shoulders roll forward. So rolling forward would look like rolling forward as you press back, right? You want to keep those shoulder blades back. Really press back on every exhale, strengthening the backs of the arms. If you're getting rid of any underarm wiggliness and jiggliness. Good. Press back as you exhale. And keep those shoulder blades drawing together, squeezing those armpits as you're pressing back. And then check in with your core. Make sure that that core is connected just at a very low level of tension to keep your low back happy. Good. Take 4 more here. Kickbacks. Squeeze those armpits in, shoulder blades back. Your arms burning yet? Good. And then rest. Roll the shoulders out. Squeeze them like you're squeezing sponges. Good. Shake out any tension. And then we'll take a split stance. So just like we did at the beginning, I did the overhead press, but this time we're going to take alternating arms. So one arm goes up. As that one comes down, the other one alternates up. So alternating arms. Staying connected in your core. So this very quickly turns into a core exercise because our arms are working in opposition. Right? As you stabilize in your core, you can feel different parts of your core firing as you're lifting the arms up overhead. Think of pushing that weight overhead from your deep core. So you're getting a lot of opposition here in your movements, which we need a lot of movements that have a lot of opposition because life, it moves in oppositions, right? Not all in one plane. Good. Stay here. Stay connected to your core. Press through those pinkies. Woo, hopefully you're feeling your arms by now. Even with little weights, it can feel like, you know, pretty intense after a while. I do enough of these. Good. Last 4 here. Good. And then drop that weight. Come back up to stand. Roll the shoulders out and we'll switch sides. So right leg forward, left leg back. Opposite side split stance. Engage your deep core. So pelvic floor lifts, deep core engages. And one arm up at a time. Same thing, opposite side stance. Keep your shoulder blades moving down your back. That's where most of the stability comes from in your mid-back. And then check in with your core. See if you can find a low-level engagement, especially in your lower abs. As you're pressing overhead, use your breath. Engage with the core, stabilize with your deep hips and the core. And just go at your own pace here. It feels so good to move around some of that lymph fluid underneath the arm. There's a bunch of lymph nodes that sit right here in front of your arm, and this can help kind of move stuff around a little bit. Do some overhead presses. Go ahead, stay connected into your core. Last 4 here. Good. Set of 4. Should have mentioned that. Basically 8. One more here. Good. And you can rest. Step back up, 2 feet together. Roll the shoulders out. Good. All right. And then feet together. Take a little mini squat. Palms facing up with the weights. Pin your elbows by your side. So this is an important place to have your elbows right by your side. You don't want them too far out or too far back, right? Just by your side. And we'll take those arms straight out to the side and then back in. Straight out to the side and back in. So we're keeping those elbows pinned, especially as you go out. It's really good rotator cuff work. And sometimes what tends to happen is we'll go like this all the way back, but try to keep it pinned right by your waist. So you're pressing those elbows forward as the arms are pressing back. You'll start to feel this deep in the shoulder socket. Super supportive for all those deep rotator muscles. And then keep your elbows pinned, right? Try not to let them go too far away from your body. Keep them pinned right by the side. Exactly. Good. And exhale as you open. Good. Nice. 3 more here, pressing out, elbows pin, thumbs go back. Good. Last one. Good. Nice. And you can rest. Roll the shoulders out. Good. All right. Bring those weights together. We're going to take those weights overhead behind you. So like bring those weights towards the nape of your neck. And if you'd like to do this either on the floor, on your knees, or seated, both work, right? What we want to focus on is drawing those ribs down and back. So just take a mini stretch here. You can feel that stretch in the triceps here and in the shoulders. Draw your ribs back. And then as you exhale, press through the pinkies. Lift those weights towards the ceiling. Inhale, drop it back down. And exhale, press overhead. Good. So key here is to stay connected into that deep core, right? Ribs moving down. Because the tendency to want to open and flare is really great, right? If you don't have a lot of shoulder flexibility and you feel like your arms are really far forward, that's okay, right? You can just work within your shoulder flexibility. So you want to fully bend those elbows and then press all the way overhead. And you can think of pressing from your sternum. You're still using your core to stabilize here. Good. Nice. Last 3 here. 1 and 2. And last one all the way over. Good. You can rest. Nice. So let go of those weights. Roll the shoulders out. Oh. If you come down to sit, you can come back up to stand. And we'll take another set of flies. So forward bend, hip hinge. If you want to stay on your knees and do it here, you can absolutely do that, right? But on your feet is great too. So palms face each other. We did this before. Slight bend to your knees, core engages. Palms are facing each other. As you exhale, draw those shoulder blades together. Lift all the way out. So there's a little bend in your elbows. As you're lifting, think of originating the movement from your shoulder blades. So your shoulder blades are doing the work of lifting the weight, not just the tops of your arms. Right? Think of squeezing that tennis ball between your shoulder blades as you lift. Exhaling as you lift the weights up. And if I were with you in person, I would put my hands, my fingers just above your bra line and ask you to squeeze there. So it's pretty deep, right? It's not in the neck. It's pretty deep below, in between the shoulder blades. Good. Last 3 here. You got this. I know your arms are getting tired. Good. 1 more. Nice. Good. We're going to transition to the floor. Roll the shoulders out. You can put the weights on the floor. Just keep them close by. And you'll need probably 2 of your heavier weights and 1 of your lighter weights. Or just the lighter weights if that's all you have. All good. So you're going to come down onto your back. Bring your weights with you. Yeah, 1 weight in each hand. So this one you can use the heavier weights. If you're using 5-pound weights, you can use those here. And then we're going to press the hips towards the ceiling, come into a bridge. Right, so we're getting a little bit of glute work here. Imagine squeezing those legs together, so you can use the back of the glutes. Palms are right over the elbows. Take an inhale and then exhale, press those weights towards the ceiling. The back of your head can press into the floor. And exhale, press all the way up. Good. Elbows out to the side and exhale, press. I love these because you get to use your glutes, but it's also an easy way to work those chest muscles, but you also get a little bit of back work as well. Your shoulder blades are not stuck to the floor and you get more movement there. And then press the back of your head into the floor and you actually get a little bit of work in your deep neck flexors too. Good. Exhale as you press. If at any point the glutes start to fire and cramp, or you get hamstring cramps, you can totally drop your hips down and come all the way down and just continue here, right? Otherwise, keep those hips up, keep the glutes working and inner thighs drawing together. Press the back of the head into the floor. Last 3 here. And 2. Good. 1 more. 3. Great. Drop your hips down. If you're using 2 light weights, hold on to 2 light weights. If you're using 1 heavy, you can just hold on to 1 heavy weight. You're going to bring those weights together so the hands would come to touch overhead. So it's almost like you're holding on to 1 weight. The elbows right over your shoulders. So you're going to bring that weight towards your forehead and then press it all the way towards the ceiling. They're called skull crushers, which you can see why. And then press all the way up. So the key here is to keep those elbows right over your shoulders. So as you're pressing, you're using the backs of your arms to slow down the movement as you come down and exhale as you press. So think of using the pinky side of your hand. So you're actually feeling the mid-back fire up. Good. And if you take the arms slightly back, you'll actually feel a little bit more deep shoulder engagement and like a hug around your rib cage behind your shoulder blades. Those are those deep shoulder stabilizers. Good. Exhale as you press. I know it's getting tired now. Exhale, press. Really straighten. Go slow on the way down. Last 2. 1 more. Good. Then you can rest. Take the weights out to the side. Just relax your arms for a second. Shake out any tension that you've got going on. You rock your head from side to side. Good. Nice. And then grab your weights again. So either 1 heavy or 2 light. All right, so you're going to bring those weights together. If you're holding 1 heavy, you can hold on the end here like this. Right, if you have 2, just hold 2. So weights are together right over the middle of your chest. We're going to bring the elbows down like you're bringing that weight towards, like underneath your bra line, and then press straight towards the ceiling. And then inhale down. Ooh, I forgot one part. Bring the weights down. We're going to do a glute bridge lift. So do the bridge lift that we did earlier. You're going to press straight overhead and back down. And overhead and back down. Right, so you're going right in front of you. Good. Press through the pinky side of your hands. Find your breath. Squeeze those inner thighs towards each other. Good. Nice. Do 5 more here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one, 5. Good. And you can rest. Come all the way back down. Good, good. All right, 1 more set here. So both weights together, same thing here. We're going to brace the core. Engage, take a big belly breath. Try to lift the pelvic floor so you feel a tightening in the low core. We're going to inhale, take the weight all the way overhead like you're going to tap it on the floor. As soon as you go back, you're going to feel your abs engage. And then exhale, drop down with your sternum, pull those weights back over your shoulders. Inhale, take it back. So resist with your ribs down, resist with the core. And then exhale, pull all the way forward. Good. Inhale, go all the way back. So this is definitely a bracing work in the core. But you'll start to feel the pull coming from underneath your shoulder blades. So think of pulling from your mid-back as you pull overhead. You could even think of like you're about to pull those weights and throw them across the room. That'll give you more power. Right, so this is one that I like to do mostly in the 2nd trimester. Once you get to 3rd trimester, it can be a little harder to manage that core pressure, and diastasis starts to become an issue. So if you feel like you have a hard time controlling that core, lower the weight, or just do it with the arms instead of with no weight. Good. Last 3 here. Exhale, pull. Stay connected into your core as the arms go overhead. 2. Good. One more, pull overhead. Nice. Good, and you can rest. Take your weights off to the side. Good. Drop your arms out. Rock your head from side to side. Good. And then while you're here, press the back of your head into the floor. Like 3 or 4 times, like you were trying to make a double chin. Give yourself a little nerve release. So this is really good if you have a pinched nerve in your neck. It releases the back of the cervical spine. So you're pressing and releasing the occiput, the base of your skull, into the floor over and over again. I do this before bed every night just to kind of reset my cervical spine because our heads are so heavy. We do a lot of forward, craning with our neck. Good. Last 2 here. Press the back of the head down and press the back of the head down. Good. All right. And you can rest. All right. Come on over to a side plank. So bottom knee is going to be down. So you can come up here, right? Option is elbow down, or you can come up to side plank here with the hand down, right? And then grab your light weight. So top of the foot can either be on the floor or lifted, however you're feeling today. Bring the weight in front of you, drop it towards the floor. You're going to pull it in front of the chest and then press it all the way up overhead. Bring it back to the chest, drop it down, and then pull it up and press. So you're keeping it close to the body, right? We're not flying it out, but just keeping it very close to the body. Exactly. Yes. And then we're stabilizing with the outer hip and the deep core as we're doing this motion in the opposite plane of where we're stabilizing, right? Good. This is so good for deep core engagement and really strengthening those outer shoulder and shoulder stabilizer muscles. Good. Last 3 here. After all that work, your bottom arm might be shaking a little bit. Good. 1 more here. Good. And then drop all the way back down. Good. While you're here, sink into that right shoulder. So like you were kind of lounging here. Keep that arm straight and then bring that shoulder towards your ear. You'll feel some release underneath the shoulder blade. Just take 1 breath here. Really big release into the side waist. I love this one. It's hard. That's a hard spot to get. This one definitely gets it. And we'll go over to the other side. So you can switch. Bottom knee down, left arm down, come to that side plank. So just make sure that your hips are coming forward, the shoulders are open, right? And you're in a nice straight line here. Grab your little weight. Brace the deep core. Inhale as the weight goes down. Exhale as you press all the way overhead. Exactly. Good. So we're staying stable in the hips and the core as the upper body is moving. There is a little rotation in your upper back as you're dropping that weight in front of you. But just to get some extension in the shoulders. The rest of your body is staying pretty stable and neutral. Good. Nice. Use your breath. A really nice finisher to all of that work that we just did. And all of it adds up, right? Those arms can get tired after all those exercises. But we need so much arm strength, right? For carrying around little babies who eventually turn into very heavy toddlers. Good. Nice. Take 3 more here. Press towards the ceiling from your pinky. Stay strong in your core and your hips. Last one. Awesome. Good. You can put your weights down and then come over to all 4s. We'll take a cat and cow. Inhale, open your chest. Really let your chest expand. And then exhale, round back. Press your shoulder to create as much space between your shoulder blades as you can. Inhale, open your chest, look forward, drop your collarbone forward. Exhale, round all the way back again. Good. Come back to neutral. Take your right hand, you're going to thread it underneath your left arm and reach towards the left side of your mat. So you can bring your head down to the floor and reach that right arm across. So I'll show you what it looks like here. So we're reaching across and then press that right hand into the floor so you feel some release underneath the right shoulder. Oh, good. Breathe into your back body. We need that space and openness behind your right shoulder blade to just release some of that tension that we get all day long. Good. 1 more breath here. And then unravel, go to the other side. So right hand down, left arm threads all the way under. Press your head into the floor and that left arm into the floor. So you're getting some active stretch in the left shoulder. You can even press a little through your right arm. And we're doing a slight twist to the upper back, but it's okay. You know, your core is staying neutral and the baby is protected by your core. We're just twisting in the upper back. Good, come all the way back out of it. Take one more cat and cow. Inhale, open your chest, look forward. And exhale, round all the way back. Good, and then take a puppy dog. So both arms walk forward. Knees are still on the floor. Bring your forehead down to the floor. And the forehead can press down, right? Hips are still lifted, so it's like a child's pose, but your hips are still up. Forehead presses down, and then reach through those arms like you had peanut butter on your hands and you were trying to smear it forward. Really big deep breaths underneath your shoulder blades. One more big breath. Good, and then come all the way back up. We'll go through a downward dog. Tuck your toes. And then walk your feet a little wider. Come to a forward bend. You're going to come up halfway. Interlace the hands behind your back. And then drop all the way forward. Let your shoulders come forward. And this is a front chest stretch. You might feel it from your sternum all the way to the front of your shoulders. Also good, we get a hamstring stretch here too. So you can feel free to move about in it as much as you need to. Bend and straighten your legs. And move around from one side to the other side to really get in there. And then take a really huge deep breath. Exhale, let it out. One more deep breath. Exhale, let it out. Good. Come up halfway and then release your arms. Nice. Come down to sit on your knees. Roll your wrists out, roll your shoulders out, give a little squeeze to those upper neck and back muscles. You're squeezing out a sponge. And then we'll do a few neck releases here. So you're going to take the head from a neutral position, make a double chin. I know, it's lovely. Make a double chin, and then take your head all the way back. And then bring it all the way back up. We'll do that again. So go double chin, full extension all the way back. And then bring it back up. Double chin, and then all the way back. Good, so what this does, you guys can keep going, make a double chin, go all the way back. It helps elongate the back of the cervical spine, which tends to get compressed, and then puts it in an elongated position to then go into extension, which can kind of reset some of the facets of the vertebrae there. Good, last two here, go back to a double chin, all the way back, and last one, double chin, and all the way back. If you're having neck pain or neck tightness, just this double chin aspect can be a really good one to practice, right? You could also do it up against the wall, or like we did on the floor, do it against the floor. You can also press your hands back this way. Just a few of those, 10 to 15, can really release the back. Good. Roll the shoulders out one more time. Just rest your hands on your thighs, take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Good. Shake out any tension in your hands. You guys are all set.